Okay, this is where my viewpoint comes in. I'm reading a book called, I'm trying to show it, A Problem from Hell, America in the Age of Genocide by Samantha Power. Pulitzer Prize. I'm probably mispronouncing all the words. I've been reading this book for quite some time, and I dropped it in the toilet by accident. That's awful. I read in the bathroom. I generally do not drop my books in the toilet. I've never done it, but I forgot that I didn't put the lid down, and I'm still gonna read it. I probably will not let anyone borrow it. Nobody would want to borrow it. But it's an excellent book, and I'm going to finish it. It's taking me a long time to finish because I'm reading every single word over and over again. At this point, I am at the point about Rwanda, the Rwandan genocide. And this is something that if you go to my live journal, I have linked in my memories some entries related to Rwanda. I have been very moved by that particular incident in history. But reading this book goes further back. I mean, where I was greatly moved by Lemkin, the story of Lemkin and his crusade, and going back, just learning the history. And I know this is about America's place regarding conflict and how they deal with it or not deal with it, when they choose to be involved and how they choose not to be involved. And this has me thinking, okay, I'm anti-war. Who honestly, truly is, who loves life and loves the beauty of living and believes everyone should be able to have the right to life, who's going to be like, yay, war? I'm not. That being said, I've had my encounters with people in the military. I've read a lot of books, military related, over the years. Dated someone who's in the military, so I read his books. And my father had a great interest in military stuff, so he developed that interest. And then my step-grandfather, I inherited war books from World War II. He was in the Navy, and so I mean, I've done research on my own into conflict, especially genocide. Now, this book is just amazing to me. I bought it at Chapters May of 2007, and although I only started reading it not too long ago, I mean, it looks like I've had it for years. I've literally been going through it, and it's not just because it fell in the toilet. It was looking rough before that. I know not good to treat your books this way, but this is a book you really need to study. I mean, if I was the type to underline, I should underline in this book. It's just amazing. But the whole point is, there are things going on in this world that aren't good. And yes, there are times when we need to do something, when we should intercede, and not simply because we have more ability or more men or more money or anything. As human beings, if there is injustice, I'm a strong believer in that we should intervene and help. For instance, Rwanda is a classic case where we could have done something and prevented genocide. And unfortunately, Romeo Dallaire was not backed up in his mission, and what could have been prevented turned out to be horrendous, unspeakable, and preventable. That's a classic case where it could have been preventable. Now, people were skittish, especially the Americans, given Somalia, what happened in Somalia, and other cases. But throughout history, as in this book, and heavily documented, again, I'll recommend it, A Problem from Hell, America in the Age of Genocide, there are many times where we could do something. And if you want to look at, now we could glamorize war and heroes But what it comes down to is basically often it's begun by power struggles, colonialism. Wars are decided upon for certain countries will get involved for their own national interest, not really because they care whether people are dying or not, but because they benefit from helping that particular country or protecting their assets. Unfortunately, humanity is not as humane as you would think, especially when it comes to politicians and people in general. I mean, if we don't know anything about what's going on over there, we don't care. That's Lion clawing the chair. I rhymed. He's allowed to claw this chair, so I let him. Anyway, that's Lion. I could easily live in my bubble and not care. I have a great big bubble, and I've many a time stayed within my bubble. And I live in Canada. And while we have troops involved now, Afghanistan, and we'd like to pull them out, you should look into the, if you're Canadian, try and sign the petition if you feel like it. I'll try and link within this post. Point is, we have a different perspective here because things are good. Things aren't that great. I mean, that's another argument of why people don't want people going to war, because they feel there's a lot of problems at home that need to be addressed and you should take care of your own, etc. The viewpoint of not caring about what's happening over there often is ignorance and believing that, oh, they've always been killing each other, they're always going to be killing each other, we should stay out of it, why should we lose people over what they're doing to each other? Not realizing that if you go back far enough, we've had some, especially the main countries involved, we've had some part in why they fought. For instance, Rwanda, the Hutus and the Tutsis, if you go back far enough, it was set up with colonialism where tribes were set up against each other because one was held as higher than the other, and then conflict after conflict ensued after that. Before that, they lived together. In between that, during the stages, they were able to get along and intermarry. But anyway, I'm not putting all the blame on us specifically. You and me were probably too young. We had nothing to do with it. We didn't do anything. But the point is, I don't have a point. Let's use the Hitler thing. Everybody knows about what happened then, right? The thing is, especially Americans, didn't get involved, except to sell and arms help provide. IBM, anybody look that up? Not a very positive aspect considering the main system, the organizational system of keeping track of people for their demise was, business, corporate related, and yeah. So more people are often aware of what's going on. People that can do something about it or make the decisions than we know about.